When I was 22 years old, I worked in an office, and it wasn't a very big office, so we all knew each other really well, and we were friends. We socialized together with our families, and we played on the company sports teams, slow pitch league and curling. And from time to time, there would be a pregnancy. Maybe a lady I worked with, or the wife of one of the guys. And it was always a happy occasion, a reason to celebrate. And when the big day came, you'd get a phone call in the unit, it's a boy or it's a girl. And so of course somebody would rush out for a card, and we'd all chip in money, and we'd buy a gift. And then usually about a week later, the happy family would come by the office, and they'd show off their little bundle of joy, and we would all ooh and ah and say all the things that you do. Oh, what's his name? And how much does she weigh? Look at those curls, she's so pretty. Oh, his long legs, he's gonna be a basketball player. And then after a few minutes of pleasant visiting, we'd have to go back to work. They'd go home to their life of happily ever after. And one year, it was the turn of a friend of mine. His wife was having a baby, and he was so excited. He couldn't wait to be a dad. He was the proudest papa-to-be that you've ever seen. Now, the months go by, and one day we get the call. He's not coming into work today, she's in labor. And a few hours later, we get another call. It's a boy. So we're so thrilled, he's got a son. And then, a few hours after that, we got a call from a family friend. And they said, hang on, wait a minute. There's a problem with the baby. He's not normal. Yeah, that's the language we used back then, not normal. Because you see, the little guy had been born with Down syndrome. Well, I didn't know what to think. The parents didn't know what to think. Everybody was in shock. I was 22, and this had never happened to me before. Everybody I ever knew that had a baby was born, you count the fingers and the toes, everything's fine. But this time it wasn't fine. And I didn't know what to think or say, and neither, it seemed, did my coworkers. And what do you say to a friend at a time like that? Do you say, oh, I'm so sorry? You know, of course you don't say that. Do you say, congratulations? And you think, well, maybe they're not in the mood to celebrate. We really cared about our friend, and we wanted to do the right thing, but we didn't know what the right thing was. And truthfully, it was awkward. So a week goes by, and they don't come in. And we start to think, maybe they're not gonna come by with the baby. And then one day I'm sitting at my desk, and it's after lunch, and it's crazy busy, and the phones are ringing off the hook, and I look up, and there they are. My friend, his wife, and she's holding a blue blanket. And they're walking towards me across the unit. And the first thing is, I just freeze. My mind goes blank, and I just can't think. And then I looked at them. I looked at their faces, and they were grinning. They were beaming from ear to ear, as proud as only new parents can be. And in a flash, I realized that they were showing us the way forward. So we started to cheer and shout and clap, and somebody yelled out, what's his name? And there were voices behind me, let me hold him, no, let me. And a guy hollered, are you getting any sleep? And we all started laughing, and we turned a corner, just like that. It was that easy. Because after all, a baby is a baby. And that was 30-some years ago now. Last November, my cousin became a grandma for the first time. And her beautiful, bouncing baby granddaughter was born with Down syndrome. And the first week was tough. I supported my cousin through her tears and her shock and her grieving, because she had to learn to let go of the dream she'd been carrying for the grandchild she expected and open her heart to a new dream for the grandchild she was given. And she did. And my cousin is a great, wonderful, loving grandma. But you know what got me thinking? I've learned a lot in my lifetime, and I realize there are many kinds of normal in this world. It just depends on your perspective.